All right, guys. So I am about halfway through this book about how to write a book and use it to get coaching clients. I've just finished the section on how to properly outline a book in order to do that. And I'm going to reveal the high-level overview of that for free right here on this episode. So if you're writing a book, or if you want to write a book, and you aren't sure what the book should include in order to actually have it work and get you clients, here is the rundown. So the skeleton of the book is your signature coaching framework. It is whatever the process is that you're already using to get the certain outcome for your client. If you have a 4-phase process and there's 3 steps within each phase, and that's like what you would work on a paid client with, who is actually working with you, that's your signature framework. That is what you teach in your book. So if you were outlining your book, you would start by pasting in your signature coaching framework. That's going to be the meat of the book, the actionable part. Now, there's a couple of things to add around that. So if that's the meat, then we have to add the bread. No good sandwich is complete without a nice piece of bread, right? And so what goes before the signature framework is a chapter about why you should read this book. What is in it for you? And so the person reads that right off the bat. They get super excited about reading your book because you have lots of benefits in there for them. And then after that, you tell your story. This is super important. What's your core origin story? How did you arrive where you are today? Where were you before? What challenges did you go through? And how did you learn what it is that you're now teaching? That is really key if you study any of Russell Brunson's stuff. Very big on telling your origin story and telling it right. After that, you want to have a chapter or two that crush objections. So what other objections do people have about your method? Like in my book about using a book to get clients, I've got a whole chapter that addresses the objections of books are hard to write. I'm not good at writing. It takes a long time. I don't understand the technical details. And I have chapters that crush those objections right up front to get people moving forward and saying, okay, maybe I can do this. Then, so those are the chapters that I would put before your signature coaching framework. And then the chapters that I would put after that, after the framework, so the ones that kind of wrap the book up. One would be an action checklist. So that is like every actionable thing that you told someone to do in your book, put it as a checklist at the end. That relieves a lot of anxiety when people are reading your book because they don't have to remember everything because you've got it all organized for them. Next, I would put a chapter on whether or not you should hire a coach, right? You've got to convince them or make them think about hiring a coach in a different way. Sure, it's going to cost them $5,000 or whatever you charge, but what benefit do they stand to gain? And are they thinking about this the right way? And so I would have a chapter on that. And then I would have a chapter that encourages them to kind of close things out. That is a high-level overview of the outline that you would use in order to write a client-getting book. There's a ton of nuance within each chapter of things to add and how to actually write it, but that's going to get you started. If you want my help executing all of this, I have a program that does just that. You can get all the details at brianelwood.net/book. The link is in the description. I want to thank you guys for tuning in today. I will see you soon.